Hello class, welcome to our channel. This is Alan Shane at your service. Thank you so much class for choosing Alan Shane's tutorial for you to be able to know more about accounting. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. So in our previous videos, we uploaded about the typical account titles used in the statement of financial position. But now, we have to discuss what are the typical account titles used in the income statement. So, what are the typical account titles used in the income statement? Typical account title used. So, here we have first is under income. So when we say income, we have two. We have service income and sales. When we say service income, it refers to what? Revenues are earned performing services, customer or client. So if your business offer service to the customer or the client, the revenue that you earned is called the service income. So what are the examples of the businesses that offers or perform services to a customer or a client? So examples of this business are accounting services by a CPA firm, we have also barber shop, and car wash, so etc. So these are the examples of businesses that offer or perform services to customer or client, and the revenue earned is called the service income. Okay, next account title is sales. What is sales? Sales refers to the revenues earned. Sales refer to revenues earned as a result of sale of merchandise. So if there is a sale of merchandise or that business sell products to the customers, the revenues earned is called sales. Nakuha? When the business sell products, so the revenue earned is called sale. Okay. So what are the examples? So examples are mga grocery stores, buy and sell, and many others. Basta those businesses that offer or that sell products to the customers. Okay? So now, after the income, we have components or the account titles under the expenses. Okay, expenses. So what is the first account title under expenses? First is the cost of sales. So when we say cost of sales, this is also called cost of goods sold. So this cost incurred to purchase or to produce the product sold to customers during the period. So those are the costs incurred to purchase or to produce a product. So the cost of sales, also called cost of goods sold. Okay, next we have salaries or wages expenses. So, this includes all payments as a result of employer-employee relationship. So, all payments that result in an employer and employee relationship that is called or that are called salaries or wages expenses. So, examples: 13th month pay, 13th month pay, cost of living allowance, and other benefits, other related benefits. Okay? So, next, let's discuss the utilities expense. When we say utilities expense, this includes telecommunications, electricity, fuel, and water expenses. So, when we say utilities expense, this includes telecommunications, electricity, fuel, and water expenses. So, this expense related to use of these four. Okay? So, next, let's proceed to rent expense. When we say rent expense, it is the expense for what? Expense for what? Expense for space, equipment, or other asset rentals. So, that is the rent expense. Next, we have this supplies expense. When we say supplies expense, it is what? The expense of using supplies. Examples, those office supplies in the conduct of daily business. So, example of this is school supplies. School supplies. So, these are the expense of using supplies. Okay, next. Then these supplies should be used in the daily conduct of the business. Next, we have the insurance expense. When we say insurance expense, so portion of premiums paid on insurance. Example, we have the motor vehicle, health, life, fire, typhoon, or flood which has expired. So, ang portion of ang insurance expense, this is the portion of premiums paid on insurance coverage. Paid on insurance coverage. And remember, those are expired or which has expired. Okay, next we have the depreciation expense. So when we say depreciation expense, these are the portion of the cost of tangible assets. So portion of cost, because diba, those non-current assets will depreciate every year sa ilahang value. That is why we have this depreciation expense. So, this is the portion of cost of tangible asset. Example, buildings and equipment allocated to charge as expense during an accounting period. Okay, next. we have the uncollectible accounts expense. So when we say an uncollectible accounts expense, this amount of receivables estimated to be doubtful. Of collection. So when the amount of receivables is estimated to be doubtful of collection, so it is called the uncollectible accounts expense. And when we say interest expense, this is an expense related to use of borrowed funds. Okay, so in summary, we have typical account titles used in the income statement. We have income and service income and sales. And when we say service income, these are revenues earned performing services. So if the business will perform services, so the revenues earned are called service income. So examples, accounting services by a CPA firm, barbershop, car wash, etc. Next is sales. It is called when revenues earned as a result of sale of merchandise. Example, grocery stores, buy and sell, and etc. So we have also expenses. In expenses, we have this cost of sales, also called the cost of goods sold, salaries or wages. Those payments in an employer-employee relationship. Utilities expense, telecommunications, electricity, fuel, and water expense. And when we say rent expense, expense for space, equipment, or other asset rentals. We have also supplies expense, expense of using supplies for the conduct of daily business. Insurance expense, portion of premium paid on insurance which has expired, and depreciation expense, portion of cost of tangible asset allocated as expense. Uncollectible account expense, amount receivables estimated doubtful of collection. And interest expense, this is the expense related to use of borrowed funds. So that's it for our discussion in the typical account titles used under the income statement. So thank you so much, class, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. God bless.